All right, last problem, and the last problem will be the most difficult problem here. So make sure that you go through, watch the whole video. If you can't do this problem, then watch this video multiple times. I'm going step by step. You have a calculator ready, so you should be making the calculations alongside with me in this video and all of these videos. So with Ariana May, she can run 30-meter line to the 200-meter dash with a velocity of 6.53 meters per second. What time did it take her to finish the race? So listing everything we know, we're still doing givens and unknowns. If you're not using the process, I will not answer any questions that you may have, and I will redirect you to these videos. So givens and unknowns, what is the information that we know about Ariana May? And Ariana May is actually a former Joliet West student. I think she graduated. So she ran from the 30-meter line to the 200-meter dash with a velocity of 6.53 seconds. So 30 meters is where she started. So if you started that distance, that's your DI. So the DF is 200 meters, because that's where she ran to. And her velocity was 6.53 meters per second. And now we want to know, what time did it take her to run this distance? So this is X. X are unknown. Equation, what equation do we use? Well, again, you look in here and you said, okay, well, we have a DF and a DI, and we have a T and a velocity, and this is the equation that has all of those things. So this is the equation we use because we don't even have acceleration. In the mixed practice, you should be able to distinguish between the two. So we're going to use the equation V equals dF minus di all over t. And then I'm going to substitute and solve and do all of the algebra step by step for you. So make sure that you're following along. Make sure that you're writing all these. Make sure that you're using the calculator. Right? So velocity 6.53 is what I replace it with, equals dF 200 minus 30 all over x. So we are solving for x. First thing first, what do we need to do is, I always want to get rid of anything at the bottom of the fraction first. So I want you to notice that that's a theme with all of these problems. Get rid of a fraction. That is the first thing we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and bring x to the top of the fraction by multiplying x to both sides. So multiply x to both sides. And now we're going to have, well, it's really hard to cross off x. 6.53x equals 200 minus 30. Next thing, now that I have a nice line, I want a nice linear problem here. Now that I have a nice line, this side of the equation, I'm going to combine those numbers because they're just numbers. Numbers and letters you can't combine, but numbers with numbers we can. So what's 200 minus 30? Go ahead and grab your calculator if you can't do this by head, in your head, and do 200 minus 30, and you should get 170. So subtract these two, you now have 170 equals 6.53x. And now x is right here. This is what we want to solve for, and there is a number right next to the x. You always divide, in this case, the number next to the unknown. So I'm going to divide 6.53 because it's next to the x. Divide 6.53 to both sides. So divide 6.53. 170 divided by 6.53. Go ahead and put in the calculator and pause the video. 6.53, 453. 170 divided by 6.53 is 26.03. So your time to cover all of this is 26.03 seconds. So I just went back and it's like, okay, X is my time. So now I'm going to not write X, I'm going to write time. All right, and then this is how to do these 4 problems. So you should have all of these 4 problems by now. And if you don't, you can always go back to watching the videos.